In this video, I'm going to show you how to keep a sort of continuous, smooth curve going from a straight line to an arc segment, and how to change this dynamically. Before we get started, I expect you to already be pretty good with AutoCAD. I expect you to know how to work with blocks, and it's a really good idea that you've already seen the previous lesson where we cover how to constrain a rectangle with linear and angular constraints and how to maintain a 90-degree angle. In this lesson, you will learn how to ensure that fillets remain tangent to lines. You will learn how to adjust them so that they change with a single parameter, and you will learn how to apply the radius dimensional constraint. To begin, start with a rectangle with filleted corners and turn it into a block. We're going to put the 0 point in the middle of this line because that makes it easiest to work with. Now, the first thing, very, very important, think about where you want your 0 point to be. This does not have to be the 0 point of the block, but it helps a lot if it is. I recommend that for this exercise, you put it in the middle of the left line. Remember, when you work with a fixed constraint, think of it as the 0 point, and then you're pulling or pushing out from that central point. And if you think about it like that, it will make working with constraints much easier. Always remember that fixed constraint. Now you can see if we start to move things around, the tangent is not maintained. We're going to start by constraining it as we did the rectangle where you do not need to rotate it. So we're going to do horizontal and vertical constraints, which will maintain the position of the lines. They will always be orientated up and along. But the problem is, if you start to move the geometry, the tangent is not maintained. And you get this sort of ugly, strange behavior. So we're going to use the tangent constraint. I personally like to work in a clockwise direction, and I start from roughly my 0 point, and then I work around. You need to remember that you need to apply this to both where the line meets the tangent and then where the tangent meets the line. So for this example, there's going to be 8 separate instances where you need to apply the tangent constraint. And it should look something like this. Pause if you need to. Now let's see what happens. As you can see, now the shape is beautifully maintained, but the size is not. So we're going to add equal constraints. Again, I like to work clockwise. What I prefer to do personally, and it makes it a bit easier, is to work from one radius, exactly as you would when dimensioning, and then make all the other ones equal that one. That way, when you're tracing back and you're problem shooting later on more complex geometry, it's easier to find out what happened and where it went wrong. And if you change one, it's more comfortable to work out what's happening. So personally, I always start in the bottom left corner. I encourage you to find something that works for you and stick to it. Again, keep one as like your reference radius, and the other ones should reference it. The same goes if you applied the equal constraint to lines and you want them to all be the same size. I recommend that you pick one and then go to the others, and it will make troubleshooting much easier in the future, I promise you. There should be 3 constraints now. Pause if you need to and check that your work matches. However, you notice that if we pull, nothing happens. Don't panic. It doesn't mean you've broken the geometry. We're now going to add a radius constraint. This will allow us to dynamically change the size of the radiuses. And because we used an equal constraint, they will all be the same size. So you can see that everything is now maintained. And finally, we're going to use a linear parameter. We're going to go from the middle to the middle. If you're confused as to why, please review the previous lesson. And just quickly, I'm going to select the dimension and I'm going to add 2 grip points to it so that we can push and pull from either direction if we want to. And change the number of grip points to 2. Save the changes, open it up in model space, and let's see how it's doing. As you can see, we can adjust the length, the height, and the radius size. I encourage you to try this for yourself a few times and see how it works. If you're enjoying these lessons as much as I'm enjoying making them, please check the link in the description. In addition to the free lessons that are available online, I also have a number of resources available for download, including written instructions, formulas, advanced techniques and tips, and DWG files to download. By supporting me, you're supporting learners all over the world from different backgrounds, different educations, and different starting points. Thank you so much for your continued support, and I'll see you in the next video.